right, good morning, everyone. It's been a while. Dang. Okay, what am I working on today? I am actually going to be working on the ability to continue the chat context window when switching model mid-turn. For example, like in Cursor, when you chat with a model, you can literally just switch. Right now, if I switch to Claude Sonnet 4, it will literally continue this conversation with Claude 4 Sonnet. So I want to do the same thing with my Claude Maestro application, and that's if I go into bun run dev here. Let me just show you what I have. Whoa, should I just run dev. And if it will show, there we go. There, okay. So now that I've been able to add different models, so currently I have enabled DeepSeek and GLM 4.5 to be usable inside Claude Maestro. So in addition to Claude, Opus, and Sonnet, I now have GLM 4.5 here. I haven't added my DeepSeek API key yet, so it's not going to appear here. However, in here, if I go into one of these, I also have a drop down here. If I want to change this to GLM 4.5, I should be able to use GLM 4.5, continuing with this conversation. And what I'm trying to figure out the best way to do is how exactly am I going to do that? Because currently, what's happening when I'm using Claude Opus or Claude Sonnet is that Anthropic actually manages, and because I'm using Claude Code, and what happens is that I get a session ID back from Claude Code SDK, and then I use that session ID to continue my conversation with Claude Code. However, if I do switch model here, obviously all the context is now lost. So I would have to rebuild the context from whatever I have here. And that's exactly what I'm going to be tackling here today. And what I thought about so far is basically here, if we think of this as our initial turn. So if in Claude Maestro, I ask it to create a plan to change my homepage background to green. Obviously, this will be in its context window, so that's me, the user prompt. It will give me assistant message back. It will do some tool calls, and then it will give me some kind of result, which would be like a markdown file. So now in the next context window here, in turn 1, so if instead of green, I want to change my background to blue instead. So what would I put in this context window? So what I'm thinking is I'm going to bring over the user message from here. I'm also going to bring over all the I'm still debating whether I bring just the user message and then the result, or do I want to bring the assistant messages here as well, and then along with the result. And then what I do is, let me see if I can put a line here. I'm going to do dotted line straight through like this. And this will indicate the new user message here, and that will continue on. So everything above this line is from this old context window. So then how do I'm just figuring out what is the best way to do this. I think if I'm going to try adding all the assistant messages. The thing is, do I really need the thinking portion? Or do I just need the result? That's so difficult. It's like, dude, I think thinking traces would be nice, but then like, uh, let me just double check something because I want to see if there's an option in Claude SDK in Claude SDK, and if I type options, is there like a thinking thing? I wonder. Okay, no. Wait, this. I'm just gonna double check that I am. Okay, this is good. Just making sure that this is legible for all the viewers on here. Okay, I don't see max thinking token, max turn. Let me see thinking. Think? No, that's the only think. Okay. So for example, cursor have here thinking, and you can see that it's thought for 9 seconds. And then thought for 1 second, preparing final summary. So I think I will, at least at first, I will try to, I will go ahead and implement this where I bring over all the user and assistant message as well as the result, and then append the user message, the new user message onto that. And then we'll move on from there. And if the context window fills up too fast, then I'll continue adjusting this model. Let me just go ahead and do this and go like that, straight line. Cool, that looks good to me. Right, let's go ahead and implement this then. So I already went ahead and generated a plan with Claude Code, and interestingly, my workflow have kind of shifted again. Oh my gosh. Not gonna lie, I've been really enjoying using Cursor now, but the thing with Cursor is I find GPT-5 Codex is actually pretty good. I don't use Opus because I'm gonna have to enable max mode, and I feel like it's going to eat up all my credits with Cursor. Because I'm only on the $20 a month plan, I think GPT-5 Codex is more than enough. And really what I did was I had Claude Opus, I used Claude Code to generate the plan with Claude Opus, and then after that, I just got rid of Claude Code and then use GPT-5 Codex. That's kind of my new workflow now. It's like, I think GPT-5 Codex is at least as good as Sonnet, maybe a little bit better, but still pretty good. It's like, it's good enough. Enable maximum context windows for advanced users that are cost insensitive. Yes, I am cost sensitive. Thank you very much. Yeah, so that's kind of been my new workflow, and I'm having a good time so far with it. Anyway, looking at this plan, currently multi-turn chat conversation relies on session ID. Yes, agreed. It only works with Anthropic models because that's specific to Anthropic Claude Code SDK. I want to be able to switch to third-party models during mid-chat, so mid-turn. So yes, that is correct. Session ID dependencies, session ID, yep. Context loss. When switching from Anthropic to third-party models, the session ID becomes invalid, correct. Third-party models don't have access to Claude Code SDK session context, correct. Current analysis, architecture analysis, yeah, this looks good. Model switching, yep, okay. Proposed solution, conversation context builder. So this is the part where it rebuilds the context from the chat history. And I was reviewing this before, and it's actually pretty good. I think this is, I really like this. I basically pass in all the messages that has been returned or output from Claude Code SDK, and basically just wait, am I reformatting this? Weird. I feel like, why, if I already have, let me just task, unified task, unified task, okay. And then let's go to task message. Okay, task message, here it is. This is the task message, role content. I wonder if instead of messages, this should just be an array of task message instead. Like, why are we redefining what the message is? Let me go ahead and highlight this. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT, just code and kind of brainstorm with Codex. Do you think it, you know what? Do correct me if I'm wrong, but instead of redefining the messages type, would it be better to just use the task message type that's already in the project? If so, modify the plan. Okay, let's see. Actually, before it does anything, I need to like quickly update plan. Okay, there. Oh, phew. This is me. This is how I work. Okay. We'll see if we can not have this and just use this instead. I feel like that would be better because this already passes in the task message array. Basically, all we're doing is we're just filtering this for only system, user, and assistant message. That's it. And then we return the chat context, which is this whole thing. And once we return that, we can use that as a starting point for the next turn of the chat, if that makes sense. Okay, required context reconstruction. That's just checking if we're using Anthropic model. If we're not, then we're going to have to reconstruct the context using the messages. Format chat context for Claude Code prompt injection. Okay, so this is just formatting the chat context. Holy crap, what did you do? Let me just read here. Okay. Updated the spec to keep the existing task messages shape rather than redefining a lightweight message structure instead of inside chat message. So the plan now reuses project-wide type and avoids duplication. All right, this looks good. Let me know if you'd like similar adjustment mirrored in the execution plan or implementation files. Okay, if I say keep all, let me see what it changed. Right, that's exactly what I expected. Yeah, this all looks good. Yeah, this is great. Wonderful. Okay. Requires context reconstruction. That's fine. Format for prompt injection. Enhance execute options. Right. And then enhance Claude SDK manager. Process. Okay, so this is going to basically modify the existing process query function, and let's see what it is changing. Final prompt, right? Okay, and then require context reconstruction, right? So if it does require context reconstruction, it's going to use the format for prompt injection, and it's going to then take in the chat context, which we passed in from the renderer process, because this is going to be in Electron's main process now, since it's going to be passed into Claude Code SDK, which runs there. And then for the third-party models, don't resume session ID, right? So we're checking if the model ID is Anthropic. If the model ID is Anthropic, we're not going to, if we are using Anthropic, then it's going to resume the conversation. And honestly, oh yeah, this is it. So this is just, we're only going to do this if it's not Anthropic model, because Anthropic models, we can just use the session ID to resume conversation when passing options into the query Claude Codes SDK query function here. Okay, moving on here, existing message handling, rest of message coding looks good. Enhanced Claude Code Provider, right? Let's see what it's doing here. Add imports, modify add message function. Okay, what is it doing here? Let's see, add message, content message, build context for execution. Interesting. Wait, what is this? This is in Claude Code Provider. It's gonna, in the add message. Okay, so we add the message to the state. We then check if we need to reconstruct the context for third-party models. That's not Anthropic. We then, okay, then we get, if we get the chat context, we then pass it to execute task. Seems right to me. Maybe? Yeah, this seems correct, I think. Sure. Sure. Yep. Just wondering if there's a better, simpler way to do this. I'm gonna rename this to something that's not needs context recon. So it's gonna call reconstruct context. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, reconstruct context. If that's true, that if that's not true, then we're gonna resume with session ID, and then yeah, chat context. Yep, that's fine with me. I think, I feel like sometimes maybe, yeah, that looks fine. Enhanced task message handling, almost there, and then we're gonna implement this. Store task management. Okay, so this is the task management store. Get conversation history. Why do we need that? Why do we need get conversation history? Enhance existing get last plan session ID and get last code session ID. Huh. Why do I need this? Where is this being used? This is being used. Oh, interesting. Okay. So then this is being used here. Let me just double check. If we need context reconstruction, model switch, or third part. Why? I feel like we're doing this so many times. Let me just do something. I'm gonna ask a new chat, and I'm gonna ask the codecs to see. Double check this plan and see if this needs context reconstruction is being called necessarily. Oh my gosh, I spelled it wrong. Being called unnecessary because it seems like in the plan we are already checking this inside Claude Code Provider. Let me see. I believe it was in, no, it was in Chat Context Builder. Tasks chat, no, this is in Claude Code Provider. Okay. Section in the plan. All right, let's see what Codex says, because I'm a little confused on why we are calling this so many times. You know what I'm tired of? I'm tired of these ads that come up. These people who try to put ads in my chat. I have no idea how to filter this out. I need to figure out a way. It's very, very annoying. Okay, looks like it's done. You're right, the plan calls chat context video require twice for the same send flow, once in add message, and again in the handle send logic for the face views. The second check is only there to avoid passing the previous session ID when we are about to rebuild context. Okay, since put message currently just forwards whatever session ID it receives, the face view code has to clear it manually. Okay, to avoid or duplicate call, we can fold the logic into the provider, construct in add message, derive the effective session ID. Okay, use effective session ID both when storing the user's message and setting resume. Why call it effective session ID? Then the phase view can simply grab get last plan session ID and pass it straight to add message with no extra okay, so yes, the call in the phase view is redundant as written, but only because add message doesn't yet clear the session ID. Adjust section 4 and accordingly, and you can drop the duplicate check from section 6. Oh, and we're at the end, I see. So this is the last part we just need to review. Enhance existing. What I don't get is why I need get last plan session ID. What? Because if it's gonna do this, I feel like it's already. I just don't like that it does this. Feels extremely inefficient. But again, how many messages are there gonna actually be? Like, I barely reach 100 message when I'm chatting, so probably not a huge deal for now. But what is that we're going to okay, you know what? Go ahead and make changes to the plan based on your insight. All right, almost there. Let me just review the last bit while it's doing this. Implementation benefits, okay. Model agnostic. Continuity, chat history is preserved when switching between any model providers. Backwards compatibility, existing Anthropic session ID flows continues to work unchanged. Automatic context reconstruction, system automatically detects when context rebuilding is needed. Seamless user experience. User can switch models mid-chat without losing context. Extensible design. New model providers can be easily added with automatic context support. Testing strategy. Yeah. Good luck with this one. Not gonna do it. Migration notes. Oh, I hate it when it writes migration notes. Well, I guess I don't need to migrate anything, but in the future maybe. But for now, I don't need migration notes. No breaking changes to existing API. Existing task and message remain fully functional. Context reconstruction is automatically applied when needed. Session ID continues to work for Anthropic models when available. Okay, I'll just delete that. Updated the plan, so let's see what it has updated. Whoa, there's a few parts. Whoa, what is happening to this? Okay, context reconstruction. Effective session ID. Hey Yoshi boy, thanks for tuning in. I'm doing well, just trying to get multiple models working with my Claude Maestro application right now. Figuring out the best way to really just how can I switch models mid-turn in chat, if you know what I mean. It's kind of hard to explain. I feel like it's been I haven't tried this before, but I'm gonna attempt to basically. So if, for example, in my initial turn, I'm using Claude Opus, and then for when I input another request, I want to change, and I change the model to like GLM 4.5. I want all the context from Opus to come along into the new model I'm using. So that's what I'm trying to implement right now. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But other than that, I'm doing pretty good. Woke up at like 6:30 today. I don't know why, but I feel like I just wake up really early every day. Even if I sleep late, I just wake up early. It's weird. It's so weird. I already had 2 meals today, and it's only 10 a.m. So hungry all the time. Okay. Resume effective session ID. Okay. That I don't like you know what I don't like? I don't like this. I don't like this naming. What is effective session ID? I don't understand. Reconstruct context. I guess I guess it's trying not to have the same name as session ID, but grr, makes me angry. Effective. You're saying it's saying effective session ID, but it can either be an actual ID or it's going to be undefined. If it's undefined, is it still effective? Clearly not. Why would you? Sure. Wonderful. I mean, I will deal with it at some point. It's just a naming issue. At least it's not terrible. Okay, looks like it got rid of a bunch of useless things, which is totally fine. Add message, task ID, content plan, and this is in the plan phase view. Okay. Makes sense. I don't add message here. Is this add message from, I think this add message is coming, pretty sure this add message is coming from the Claude provider, Claude Code provider, or is it coming from the store? Because if it's coming from the Claude provider, I'm just thinking why I need all these when I'm already giving it the task ID. And with this task ID, I can effectively grab its content. I believe the content, oh, this is, wait, so is the content attachments or what? Let me just double check in the actual code base. Claude Code Provider, Claude Code Provider, and I'm gonna go to Claude Code Provider. Shoot, what am I looking for? My brain, where are you? Brain, train. I am looking for add message. Add message. Okay, currently it's passing in task ID message, phase, and session ID. You know what? Sure. All right. Not gonna argue. This is just a, okay. And then we're gonna set the input. Looks fine. This is looking like a very solid plan, considering I felt like I spent like legit an hour looking through this, and it's only like 350 lines. I just don't like having to review code after I finish implementing. I think this looks, the annoying thing with reviewing plan is that I don't get the IntelliSense or like the hover thing, which kind of is annoying, but at least it's all in one place. And I know my code base. At this point, I feel like I know my code base pretty well because I'm not vibe coding the whole time. I'm just saying that. So at least it's pretty, at least I know what I'm doing. Okay. I think this looks good, at least. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna update the plan. And then let's go ahead and implement this plan with Claude Code. And I'm going to use my implement command. I'm going to pass it in this one, and let's just YOLO it. Here we go. We'll see what happens. I think I'm using Opus. I feel like I've been hitting the Claude Code limit recently quite a lot. But again, I did come down from 200 to $100 max plan. I just didn't think I would hit the limit so many times in a day. At least I feel like I hit the limit every time. Almost every 5 hours, I do hit the limit. The limit is smaller than I thought for $100 plan. Yes, let's go. Go ahead and modify everything you need to. And then the other thing I want to do with Claude Maestro once I finish implementing this model thing is that I want to I basically want to redesign the look of it completely, because I feel like this parallel instance thing on the side is just, there's really no need. There's not really a huge, like, this is just taking more than, like, this doesn't need to be here. And basically let me see if I can show you in Notion what I want for it. So for example, in Notion, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but it has like this thing. I want these parallel instances to literally be like this, because it's not really that important. It's there. You do have the option to implement the plan in multiple instances or versions, as OpenAI Codex call it, but I don't want it to take up literally like a quarter of the screen, like the panel here. It just is too much. Also, I want to move this execute plan into the chat box here, as well as this instance button. On top of that, I want to get rid of basically this whole page. I don't need this I'm calling it dashboard page, but it's like the home page. I don't need this page at all. And what I want to do is something similar to Cursor this. This is so nice. This is actually like my favorite kind of side agent workflow I like, or UI. I really like this because it's just like, here's all my chat. Here's like, I can move easily between different chat without having to go back and forth. Like in Claude Maestro, I currently have to go, okay, I'm going in here, look at the chat. Oh, I need to look at another one. I need to go back out and then load another one. Nope, I basically just want to be able to go chat to chat, seeing if each one has completed its work or whatever. And then on this side, I'm probably just going to have it be like, if this is in plan mode, then this is just going to be the markdown plan. And then it's going to have like the version of markdown. So for example, if you have been asking it to modify the markdown plan, it will have a new version. And that's kind of like how I work now. Hopefully it will make it feel a little better when at least a little smoother when I'm using Claude Maestro in general. And also, I'm thinking about whether I want to add OpenAI options, OpenAI Codex in here as well, because I actually really like OpenAI Codex model too. But that would require me to implement OpenAI Codex CLI into the application. I'll need to think about that one, how I'd go about doing that, but it'll be interesting. Definitely like this though. And this context thing is really neat too. Very nice. Cursor has really done well for their background agent. I really like what they did. Okay, good. Chat context builder errors are resolved. The remaining errors are unrelated to our implementation. Okay, looks fine. All right, it has successfully implemented the plan. I've successfully implemented the model agnostic chat history. All right, let's just close. In fact, I'm just gonna go to here. Let's see. Okay, this is an issue here. What is this? This is in Electron type. Ooh, no. Oof. No, this won't work. Because this is in Electron project, and this is in my Next.js project. How do I do this? Chat context. Okay, let's clear. Move chat context type into a file that is visible to both my Next.js and Electron project. Let's try that. All right. Let's update Electron app IPC types. Perfect. I've successfully moved the chat context type to shared location that's accessible by both Next.js. Okay, so where did it put this? Jeez. Really? I mean, where is this task? Oh, I see. Okay, I can deal with this. I can deal with this. Sure. Let's go ahead and see if there's any other errors. Looks like chat context builder. Is this chat context? This is fine now. So then the only problem is this chat context builder, which is only visible in my Next.js project, but not within my Electron project, which this Claude SDK manager is being used in. Oh man, this is actually a lot harder than I thought. Chat context builder. Honestly, it shouldn't be here at all. Move chat context builder to a folder location that is visible to both my Electron and Next.js project, as well as fix up any references. Okay, let's try that. Turned 2. Then this is literally going to be the same thing. I'll take out a tool here, and we're just going to have all this, but then, oops. This would then go like so. Okay. And this is where the context window size actually matters. Okay. That works for me. All right, perfect. I've successfully moved chat context builder file into a shared location that's accessible by both Electron and Next.js project. Where did you move it? Oh, wow. What did you add here? I see. Interesting. So we're putting in lib. Instead, I'm just going to rename this helper. Sure. All right. Better than nothing. Okay. All right. We modified that. Get conversation history. This is exactly like in the plan. Get conversation history. Get last. Why do we need get conversation history? When, what is it returning? I see. This sort is, I feel like this sort is so unnecessary because the message is already coming in. Oh gosh, this is so annoying. But I'm gonna leave it there for now. That's fine. There's 3 errors in here. What's this one? This one's just not being used. I'm just going to do that then. Remove this as well, since it's not being used. Okay, that's fine. This technically, technically looks good now. So then the best way for me to test this out would be to close my Claude Maestro application, clear this. Oh, this is getting too big. What's happening here? Clear, and I'm going to go to Claude SDK Manager. Just gonna close Claude Code here, and looking at where I can log out the full context, I just want to see options, execute options. Let's go ahead in here. I'm gonna log.info, and I'm gonna log out context, options.chat context. That looks good to me. Bun run dev here. Rollup failed to import types model providers from and it's gonna be types model provider. I don't see. Rollup failed to resolve import at types model provider. Oh, there it is. I do want to search chat multi-turn context window. Multi-turn conversation best practices. Oh yeah, I saw this before, but this is like for API stuff. How does multi-turn chat? Okay. Is there like a blog, understanding context window? Let's see what this article says. Okay, thrives on long conversation thread, remembering your conversation. It's like, okay, yeah. It's not, Oh, this is neat. Can I click on it? No. Okay, let's see what it changed. That's that, but then Electron Vite. Renderer. Oh gosh, I hope this is not gonna mess with my build. I really don't like when the config changes. Run dev. Well, at least it does run the project, but I have no idea why. Let's see, updated Electron Vite config. So the @alias resolves correctly in all Electron build targets, main preload renderer, by anchoring it to project root. That should unblock Vite from loading. Okay. Build. Next step, rerun your Electron dev build. I'm actually gonna go on run build as well, just, oh no. Okay. There is a lot of issues here. I think it's mainly to do with the types. Interesting. Okay. However, it comes to man, I feel like I saw. Let me try to find the article I saw the other day about like managing chat context, multi-turn chat context window. Let's see. It was in one of my videos that I did the research. Is it this one? I don't think it is this one. Is it? I wonder if it is this one. Nope. Is it this one? Nope. This one? Weird. I can't find it. Thought was gonna find the article I had the other day. It was so good too. I don't think this has a good diagram. Pretty sure it was something like this. I saw it. I don't know if I saw it in a video or was it somewhere else, but we'll see if this works. Should, theoretically. it's running the wrong commands because it's not supposed to, it's supposed to, oh, here it is. Okay, now it's running the right command. Reformat. Oh my gosh. This is like making a lot of changes. For why though? I'm really hoping it doesn't break everything. Also, it's like a little hot in here. Success. You can't just say success. There's no way it just clear bun run build. Oh, success. All right. I mean, sure. You touched quite a few files, didn't you? I wonder if I can just not type this. No, I have to. Because this should be. I don't get why it does this. You know what? I'm just gonna put unknown for now. Nope, I can't do unknown either. Fine, any. Okay. This is a new file, and this is now in lib helpers. Okay. I'm gonna regret this decision literally tomorrow. But for now, I want this to get this working. This is fine. Eventually, I hope I'll be at a point where I can just start creating proper like tests for the application. But right now, everything's changing all the time, so there's no point of testing because everything's gonna break anyway. So might as well just YOLO until it actually works. This is fine. This is fine. TS node config. Jeez. Am I gonna regret this? Am I gonna regret this change? Is this being used? Oh, it is here. Okay, sure. This is fine. Let's go ahead and actually just run the project. Gonna start up my Next.js server first. If I can actually switch, can I not switch? Oh, I have not bind the key command. Bind run dev. Oh, this is so annoying. So annoying. Okay, I need to get my key commands from Windsurf. Okay, looks like it did whatever it needed to do. And if I go into one of this, I just want to double check Claude SDK manager, and we are going to log out the context here, which will effectively show up in here. Okay, let's go ahead and change this to GLM 4.5. And what was this? This was changed. Actually, I want blue. Actually, I want blue. Wow, it did. Okay. So messages, we are going to see change solid background to green content, right? Let me take a look. Source files, let me take a look at project structure. I think that's it, but it didn't. What it didn't come back with is the plan itself. Oh dear. Let's kill this. So it came back with everything here except for the plan. Drive me nuts. Okay. And I know exactly why. Because if I go to chat context builder, and if we take a look at this, if we're grabbing user message and assistant, but in fact what we need is also message.role. Oh my gosh, message.role role. Actually, let me see. Result. Thank you very much. There we go. That's what we need. And I'm going to restart the application. Clear. Run dev here. And let's go ahead and use this one now. This one. Oh, this one's dead. How about this one? Okay, this one looks alive. Okay, and then I'm gonna go change. Actually, I want blue. There we go. Here we go. Now it comes back with the content as well. As you can see, whoa, that's double content. Sure, you know what? It's better than not having content for now. Is it still working? It must be still. Context already, I can see on line 9 that blue background's using. Nice. Okay, so that did theoretically work. I think. Moving on in my head, I actually. Wait, what was I trying to get? I was trying to do something. Okay. Oh yeah, what I actually want to print out now instead of Claude SDK, and instead of this, let me just close this down here and grab this. I am going to see where it, execution options, format prompt for injection. So here, this is what I want to print out from context prompt. I really want to see what it actually, how it formats the previous context to go into the next prompt. Let's try that. Bun run dev again, and here I will grab the last one we were in and actually make it yellow. Very creative, I know. Right, let's see the prompt injection here. Wow, that's a lot. Okay, we have human. Why? You know what? I don't like I don't like that this is this is yeah. Can we not use the word human here? Because what happens if it's not a human? Wait. Message role. If message role equals user, then what? This should just be user. This should just be message dot role. That's it. Remove this. What we don't need different things. Okay, assistant. Now let me check. Blah blah blah. Okay, assistant. That looks good. Honestly, I think these assistant one, I'm not adding enough context. The question is, where is the remaining context for this? So for example, let me check the global CSS file, and it has this colon. There must be some missing thinking steps here. I'd like to fill this in, maybe, probably. And now it's passing in all the plan in here, option 2, right? It's passing in all the plan. And then at the end, and then here, wait. Oh, this is the second chat. Wait, let me just double check. Okay, so this is this. Actually, I want blue, and it came back with background is already changed to blue. Assistant, and then it's going to say continue the chat, maintaining full context from the above history. Wonderful. So there we go. It is working. Whoa, that was actually like one shot. That was pretty much one shot of that feature, though it did take me like an hour to implement it. An hour and 15 minutes to implement this feature. Not terrible, considering it probably would have taken me longer if I did it by hand without any help. Man, that's pretty dope. And if I switch back, oh, you know what? Let's get rid of, if it's Anthropic, okay. I need to write this down because I'll explain to you in just a moment. Let me write this out. And stop using session ID to resume conversation with completely, and use manage context yourself, because if you start conversation with another model, then switch to Anthropic model, it wouldn't be there. When resuming. Okay. Oh man, I caught a really good bug. So for example, if currently, how this works is if I am using Claude Opus 4.1, it's still going to resume this whole conversation. This is going to, let's say I have this is a new conversation and I've been using Claude Opus 4.1 and I reply to it, it's going to resume using the session ID from the message that it gets back. However, if I started this conversation with GLM 4.5, what is going to GLM 4.5, and then I went ahead and switch it to Opus 4.1, it's still going to try to resume the conversation with the session ID. And that's incorrect because now the context is lost. The context from GLM 4.5 does not automatically, through Claude Code, does not resume with Opus 4.1. And that's not great, if you know what I mean. So then now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to completely detach the application from using session ID to even resume Claude Code's conversation using Opus or Sonnet. Because if I started with GLM 4.5 and I happen to want to switch to Opus, then I need all this to be converted into this context like this as well. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and create a plan for that refactor as well. Okay, well, at least one thing done today. This is actually really good. This is definitely very good. I'm gonna go ahead and commit the changes knowing that this actually works reasonably well. Let's go ahead and write the message. It's so nice. This is like my favorite feature. I hate writing get messages, but commit. There, done. Sync 8 changes. There's going to be errors in there, but I'm going to take care of that at the end of me finish implementing everything I need and that it is in a good stable place. Right now it's still wonky, but yeah, I think that's it. That's all I'm going to do for this stream. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll probably stream again tomorrow. I don't want to commit to anything, but I'll be streaming some more. All right, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.